Hello and welcome to an episode of Drinking the Kool-Aid. This is a comedy podcast dedicated to the mysterious. My name is Cassidy.
My name's Amanda.
And here we are for episode 258.
I believe so.
Wow, that's pretty great.
That is pretty great. Oh, no. Guys.
Quick pause.
Quick pause.
Amanda broke our light and now we're kind of in a situation.
I am too strong for my own good. Apparently, I'm a superhero. I didn't know it. I literally snapped our light off of its freaking hinges with just a little nudge.
Because why not?
Because I'm so strong.
She's so strong.
Okay, let me see if I can figure out a way to put this back up. Okay, well, I'm back.
All right, we're back, everybody. How you feeling?
Sorry for screaming into the microphone.
Wow, you know what? After 5 years, still just a 2-gal operation with a few broken ring lights.
It's so true. If you guys could see our setup, it is so atrocious looking right now.
It's not very good, really, ever. We're in what is basically a glorified storage room in Amanda's apartment.
Yeah.
And this part looks really cool behind us, but everything else looks like a back room at like a job that you don't really like, and they're not very respectful to you.
They're like, here's where the employees hang out, and it's just like shit everywhere.
They're like, and you get a 30-minute unpaid, you have to clock out lunch break, but you also can't leave the facility, so you have to eat it in this weird dark room with no windows.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically where we podcast.
Yeah.
We're really into that vibe, clearly.
Yeah, guys, the manifestation is a proper studio one day, okay?
Hell no, I'm not spending money on a proper studio and this shit works just as good.
That's true.
When I could spend money on treats.
You know I love a treat.
Tricks.
You don't like tricks?
Well, sometimes.
You do?
Tricks and treats? Like a trick or treat?
Oh, trick or treat.
Yeah, durr.
Yeah, but when you say trick or treat, you get treats. You don't get tricks.
Sometimes you get tricked.
That's real.
Like sometimes they give you like a toothbrush or something. That's
yeah, and those people should be shot.
That's a trick though. They tricked you. You said trick or treat and they said, here's a trick.
Don't give me something healthy on Halloween. I'm sorry. That's crazy. Don't give me a fucking apple. Don't.
Did you ever get like that weird bag of like those orange peanuts, like orange fluffy peanuts?
Yes. Ooh.
Why? Who was allowing that?
Those are the most disgusting things.
Also, were they bagging them themselves? I've never seen them they were always in like weird, like those sandwich bags that don't have a seal on them. You have to like tie them shut.
Oh, like a cellophane bag?
No, it's like those sandwich bags, you know, when you're really broke and you can't afford real sandwich bags. So you have to buy the one that just has a little flap on it instead of the seal, like a grown-up person. It was always like those, but they would just tie the top. Why did they do that? I have to know. There's no way they sold them like that, but I feel like that's a universal experience.
Yeah, I can vividly picture that in my head.
Yeah, and they tasted so bad.
Those are so nasty. There are some candies that I just can't get behind.
Well, we've had this discussion before because I don't like Almond Joys and you love them.
Well, those are delicious.
I think that's really the only candy. Really anything with coconut. I just can't get down with coconut. I don't like the texture.
Well.
But everything else I'm usually pretty open to. I'm not the hugest fan of sour candies.
Who are you?
Like I don't care for a Cabbage Patch Kid or whatever they're called. What are they called? Sour Patch Kid. I don't care for them.
Interesting.
I'll eat them if I'm desperate. Sometimes I am, but
I would say like the grossest thing that you could possibly think is a candy is like one of those jelly things or dots. I don't like dots.
I like dots. I like that you get to eat a little bit of paper as a treat.
You always eat paper every single time. When have you ever eaten a dot and there's not paper on the back?
Girl, last night I was so hungry. I was like a bottomless pit, right? Because like I'm PMSing, and so it's just like that time where nothing is satiating.
Yeah.
I was so hungry and I made myself like a big like Scooby-Doo style sandwich, and I absolutely did eat some paper.
Oh.
Yeah, I did. I'm gonna own it right here, right now. I did.
Like that was attached to cheese or meat or
Like I had wrapped it. It was so big and I had chips in there and stuff and I didn't want everything to fall out. So I like wrapped it in a paper towel and was like moving the paper towel down. And then just things happen, you know?
I mean, I also eat paper every single time I eat In-N-Out. So
yeah. Well, I felt like you. I was like going crazy.
oh, thank you.
You know how you eat. It's crazy.
I don't want them to know how I eat.
I want them to know how you eat.
I would have liked to keep that sacred.
Amanda inhales. She does not eat. She barely chews. It's crazy. We had In-N-Out once, and she eats it. First of all, they just eat standing up in their kitchen. They don't sit down to eat. Her husband.
We do. Just that moment in time, we didn't.
And I'm not kidding you. I was eating the fastest I've ever eaten, like to the point where it was hurting my throat because I was swallowing so hard and so fast. And she was gone. Like she was done in 30 seconds. She didn't savor a morsel. Disappeared into the other room. And I'm like literally shoving food down, like trying so hard to eat as fast as I can. It was crazy. It was like watching like one of those snakes unhinge their jaws to like eat a larger animal than themselves. And you're like, how do they do it? And then they do it.
I wanted people to think that I was this prim and proper little peach.
Amanda, you talk about peeing your pants like once an episode. I think we're past that. That's like me being like, I just wanted people to think that I was like a really polite, nice gal, church gal.
Not the church gal.
We're in too deep, okay? 5 years, 258 episodes in. These people know us better. They've psychoanalyzed me. These people have diagnosed me correctly more times than my doctors have. They know us real well.
Yeah, that's so true. I forget that I just spill my guts on this podcast every week. And I say things that I probably shouldn't say, but I can't help myself.
Oh, sometimes I think about, there's just so many things that I've said that I've forgotten about. And people will message me like things. I'm like, how would they know that? And I'm like, I willingly gave up that information 200 episodes ago or whatever.
Yeah, well,
what can you do?
Nothing.
It's the life we've chosen for ourselves.
This is it. This is who we are. You guys get all of us.
I decided to start a podcast because it wasn't enough to spill my guts to every stranger I met at a bar or restaurant or party. I had to get international strangers in the mix.
Yeah.
Like for sure. I was like, no, it's simply not enough. It's not good enough, Cassidy. You could up these numbers exponentially.
And you did.
And I did.
Yeah.
I said, watch me. Watch me.
You said to yourself, watch me, self.
Mm-hmm,
and here we are.
Exactly.
Oh, well.
That's what it's all about, going global with your embarrassment.
You know what? If you're gonna embarrass yourself, you might as well do it for the world.
You might as well go global.
Yeah.
Get global with it.
That's right. Get global with it, baby.
That's going to be my new catchphrase. Get global with it. I'm just getting global with it.
I'm just getting global with it.
I'm sorry you're staying local.
Yeah. Sorry that not everyone can get global with it.
Sorry you're staying local with it, but I unfortunately and fortunately am getting global with it.
Exactly.
Nah. Hey, getting global with it. You know what I mean?
I do.
She gets it. You guys might not get it.
I get it because I'm also global.
She's also getting global with it.
Strangers in fucking New Zealand know that I pee my pants all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
That's very true.
That's when you want to get global with it?
You got global with it.
I got global with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And I had people in Australia diagnosing me with autism. Okay. Like, what are you going to do?
I'm okay with it. Are you?
Yeah. I already told you the goal was to get global with it.
Anyway, enough about embarrassing us.
Swelteringly hot in here.
It is.
I am sweating.
It is also swelteringly hot outside.
It is. You're going to need to set up that air conditioner unit soon.
I know. I didn't think it was going to be hot so soon.
Whew. Yeah, because it was cold last week.
I know. Cold, rainy.
They call it headache weather because apparently, statistically, the amount of headaches go up when the weather goes back and forth, like swings a lot. It like triggers headaches and people have headaches.
Maybe that's why my eyes have been burning lately.
Maybe eye burning weather.
Eye burning weather.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to blame my next hangover on headache weather.
I love to blame like anything on anything, so.
Oh, yeah, I know. You claim to be PMSing like 2 weeks out of the month.
I'm pretty sure I'm PMSing all the time.
She'll be like, sorry guys, I'm in a bad mood, I'm PMSing, and then like 2 weeks later she'll be like, my period finally started, and I'm like, I think you were just grumpy.
No,
I think you're just regular old vintage grumpy.
In my opinion, I am only not PMSing like maybe for 4 days. And every other day of the month, I'm PMSing.
We should get you under a microscope here. We should get some doctors involved with that, because that sounds like a problem.
I don't want anyone to ever like look into me actually, because I would be really scared of the results.
Oh, me too.
Like I don't want to know.
Oh, I'm sure that there's some that I could get some tests done that would be affirming in some ways, and we
would be put in a lab.
They wouldn't let me out. They'd bring me in for like a sleep study, and they'd be like, sorry, you live here now. You donated your body to science, your living body, basically. But
like alive. Yeah.
Yeah, by being the way that you are.
Yeah.
You're also most likely a danger to society. And I'd be like, fuck.
Yeah.
You're right.
Maybe totally they would put us like side by side though.
Maybe.
Yeah. So we could at least talk to each
in
other.
In our cells. In our government implicated cells. Yeah. I could see that.
I mean, we're like hooked up to things, you know?
Well, because we're at our worst when we're near each other. Mm-hmm. So like for science, I think they would have to at least let us together.
Yeah. So see,
a couple hours a day.
They would have to be like, okay, now test subject A and test subject B have to interact, and we have to monitor that. Yeah. And you know how that can get.
Imagine.
It can go anywhere.
They're just throwing they're throwing buzz balls in like they're grenades at us. We're just going
They're somehow figuring out the one thing that makes us fight, and they're just like throwing it in the mix.
Buzz balls?
You know what? That's so funny, because at first I was thinking, oh, for us to have a good time, buzz balls. No, wrong.
Well, it depends.
Incorrect.
It depends. Listen, the buzz ball scale is crazy, because you're like, this is the best thing I've ever had. It's very close to the Four Loko scale, where you're like, wow, this is really fun. I understand why science created this. And then the drop off is so steep and so sudden, you never see it coming.
And then
it's like when you're in the ocean, and you take a step and all of a sudden the floor is not there. Yeah, like because there's like a shelf that
like
you
a drop
can't
off.
see. It's like that, but with buzz balls.
It happens so fast,
and you can't swim, so you just fall into the hole in the ocean.
Like you're having a really good time, and then all of a sudden you're sitting on a stool of your kitchen island, bawling your eyes out, hugging each other. And then all of a sudden you're fighting, and then you love each other. It's just,
And then one of you's in the bathtub and the other one's just on the ground for some reason. Crying.
Throwing up in the toilet.
Sure, why not?
You don't know.
It's like shots, and this is why I don't really do shots anymore. So I've like learned my lesson with shots. I can have like one, right? Like if I'm at like a birthday party or something, or like a celebration, or I'm out with friends and somebody's like, we're all going to do a shot. I can do like one.
Yeah.
Any more than that, no, danger zone.
Yeah, because you can't
highway to the danger zone. Even
once you go over that edge, there's no coming back.
I wouldn't even say highway to the danger zone. Autobahn to the danger zone. Like there is no speed limit on that bitch. You are autobahning it
full speed ahead.
You're full speed ahead. Yeah. But that's why I've switched from doing whiskey shots. Like whenever people offer shots, I do Fernet now, because it's an aperitif and it's like lower alcohol percentage. So it's like,
Yeah, you told me that.
I'm in a safer zone.
Yeah. For some reason, I just always do the shot that everyone else is doing, even though I can't handle it or like it.
Yeah, which is crazy.
And then I usually throw up in my mouth every time and somehow still get it down. It's never fun. It's never a good time.
I was going to say, see how she portrays herself as such a dainty little lady.
I mean, I take the shot so delicately and I go, delicious.
Delicious. And now, after having an appropriate amount of alcohol, I'm going to head home at a gentlemanly hour, read a book in bed before I fall asleep.
Exactly.
And then wake up refreshed in the morning.
I'm not going to continue to pound shots
no.
until
She wouldn't do that. That's not like her at all.
Yeah, until I come home at an unreasonably late hour and projectile vomit into my shower very loudly, might I add, because I am not a quiet puker.
Scream puker.
Yeah.
That's actually one of my, I'm a stealth puker. It's one of my few superpowers.
No, you're really good at it.
Yeah, it's one of my few superpowers.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because like I just grew up in a really big family. So if you were sick or whatever, there's just so many people you could wake up or bother. I don't know.
Yeah. I think I just like being the center of attention.
I could see that.
So I'm like,
you're a Leo.
I am.
That is a very Leo way to vomit.
What do you want me to do?
Sorry about talking about the vomit so much.
I know. All right, we'll stop.
Our bad.
Do you have any like fun facts?
Oh, I actually do.
Oh,
So my mom bought me this book called The Book of Unusual Knowledge, and I was looking through it yesterday because I was trying to find like a spark or an idea. People, you know what? People ask us this all the time. Here's a good one for you. I have a lot of weird books, and the books might not contain the story that I want to tell, but it might like contain a spark of something that I want to Google to figure out a story I want to tell.
okay.
So I was just doing that. I was like kind of flipping through reading. And one of the sections was all about animals. And one of the chapters in the animal section was all about camouflage.
Oh,
Okay. And so, like camouflage, coloring to blend in, Peter Malark with it.
Peter Malark
And
or a chameleon.
A chameleon. Or when you see, butterflies that have, it looks like they have eyes so that birds don't swoop down onto them and stuff, things like that. Those are all
yeah.
forms of camouflage. And I didn't know this, but the reason certain bugs like moths and caterpillars and stuff are so gross looking is because they evolved to look as much as they could like bird shit so that birds wouldn't swoop on them. Isn't that hilarious?
My God. Those poor guys.
I know, it made me feel bad for them because moths really freak me out. Some moths are really pretty, but like the ones that are just like the white fuzzy ones,
Yeah.
they do look like bird shit.
They do look like bird shit because bird shit is always like white and a little fuzzy.
Yeah.
Why? Also, why? Why is bird shit fuzzy? I actually don't want to know.
You don't want to know. We don't need to discuss
I don't
this.
want to know.
We don't need to go from vomit to shit.
But well, we did already.
We did.
So
And you know what? For once, it's on me.
that's so true. But caterpillars can be like colorful. They can be like green.
Yeah, and some like duck poops green.
That's true.
Like, and they look like little loggy
like
caterpillars.
like little turds.
Literally, like for real. Yeah, and I just thought that was so interesting because this whole section is talking about like, oh yeah, because some things they like there's certain snakes that are not venomous, but they mimic the colors of venomous snakes so that passing predators might assume that they're venomous, right? And stuff like that.
The fact that animals can just do that.
Well, I mean, it's evolution, baby.
I know.
Adaptations, yeah.
Whoa. You
Sorry.
sounded like a pop star.
Getting my Christina Aguilera out here. Yeah, isn't that crazy? I just never thought about that. I was like, yeah, they look gross on purpose because then they look like bird shit, and then the other birds don't want to, like, they're looking from above.
Yeah.
They call it bird's eye view for a reason, people. They're looking down and they're going, it's just some shit on the ground. And then really it's a succulent moth that they could have been eating.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
So moths and caterpillars are smarter than they look.
I mean, they're not smart for doing this. This is once again just something that their bodies naturally evolved to do. So most likely it's all the ones that didn't look like bird shit got eaten. And so then all the ones that do look like bird shit kept fucking and making more bird shit little babies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then that's how evolution works, everybody.
Thank you for teaching me.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
Just the shittiest, literally, definite or like explanation of evolution ever.
And I will take that and I will roll with it.
Yeah.
And from here on out,
that's your whole personality.
That's it. That's all I know. When someone's like, about evolution, I'm like, yeah. And that's in my brain.
Yeah. And you're like,
Yeah.
let me tell you a little something about caterpillars that look like bird shit.
That's right. And I go, that's on evolution.
And that's on evolution, baby. Intelligent design, who?
What was the other thing you want to bring up? Now I'm curious.
Oh, well, I have a gripe.
You have a gripe now?
I have a gripe.
Oh, good.
My gears have ground.
Perfect.
They've been ground. They're just loose at this point. They've ground down so much.
I can't wait to hear about
Now I'm
this.
going off the rails because of it.
Wow.
Because the gears are so ground.
Yeah.
Why are restaurants trying to hide their menu from me so bad? Why do they make it so fucking hard to find their menu online?
Like
why
who?
is every like small restaurant? It's like you have to go through like an obstacle course to get access to their menu. It's insane, especially if it's like a nice small restaurant. You can't find their happy hour. Why are you not trying? Why are you not telling me what your happy hour is? Why? That's literally all I'm looking for.
That is actually super
and that
true.
will entice me to your restaurant.
Every restaurant we've been to lately, including the one we went to this past week,
Yes.
I couldn't find the happy hour menu.
That's what it made me think. That's what made me think of it. And I was like, I'm so annoyed. I'm like, why are you hiding this from me? Because I will 100% go to your restaurant, more likely, even not for happy hour, if I can find your menu readily available to me.
Yeah, because you got to know what you want before you get there.
And fuck you if you're one of those restaurants that you have to like create a fake cart. Like I have to go on Squarespace or whatever.
Oh, because they're like, order online or
yeah,
whatever.
And that's the only way
like,
to see your menu.
I don't want to order online. I want to go to your restaurant and enjoy it while I'm there.
But also maybe it's 3 a.m. and I'm considering where I want to go to dinner tomorrow because I can't sleep. I can't start a cart because you're not open.
Wow.
I'm just like, why would you hide this information from me?
Dude, even like big restaurants, I feel like hide happy hour for some reason.
It's so weird because happy hour is, if you are somebody who is available to not be at home during, or like not be at work during happy hour, which like we have alternative schedules, right? So like happy hour is a good way to get us into your establishment. And most of the time we stay for dinner.
Yeah. And like happy hour is supposed to be happy. So if I can't find your happy hour menu, I'm not going to be happy.
Yeah.
So
really,
fuck you.
Really grinding my gears.
Wow, now my gears are ground.
Yeah, because I was like, why is this so hard? Why do I have to download a PDF to look at your menu?
That's annoying.
Why are you making me do that?
It
I'm
should
on
be
my
right
phone,
there.
And then when I download it, it's all small and weird, and then I'm zooming and then I'm losing it. I have survived almost 32 years on this earth.
You have.
You shouldn't be making me download a PDF so that I can spend my hard-earned money at your establishment.
I'm thinking.
Don't even get me started at restaurants that still make you scan a QR code instead of giving you a menu.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's one restaurant I allow to do that. And I'm not going to call them out because I just love them.
There's a lot of restaurants still.
No, I said there's one that I allow.
Oh, that you allow.
I literally don't go to restaurants that make me scan a QR code.
I don't like the ones that have a QR code that have servers. I'm like, what's the point of the server?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Give me a menu.
Yes.
Okay. So those are my boomer complaints. Boomer complaints of the week.
I was going to say, we need our own segment for that because we do it all the time.
Yeah. And just, you know what? The older I get, the more I get it, girl. The more I get it.
Yeah. Sorry, it's not going to change.
It's not. And guess what?
It's going to get worse.
All you youngins listening, and I know you're out there. We had someone write in and be like, I'm 14. And I was like, you're going to get it too.
You will.
You're going to get it too. Give it 16 years, baby.
16 years. Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Give it a whole driving age, adults age, and you'll get it.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, girl. I get it.
Yeah. Just drives me up the wall. Bananas, bonkers even.
Cassidy and I this past week got new phones together.
Oh, do you guys want to see them? You can't see. Okay.
You can't see mine, but you can see hers.
Mine. I got what is it? He said it, aquamarine?
Aquamarine blue or something?
I don't know. It's blue, but it's kind of magenta-y, to be honest.
Yeah, it's like I would even go periwinkle.
Yeah, periwinkle,
like
maybe.
Purpley blue.
But basically, and Amanda got a pink one, so we're basically Romeo and Michelle.
We are.
And so I think we're going to be them for Halloween, maybe.
I think we should.
I think we should be,
Yeah.
honestly. That'd be a real missed opportunity if we didn't.
Or Christina Applegate and Cameron Diaz from The Sweetest Thing.
Yes,
because they also
I
have
not
those.
seen that movie. So I would need to see the movie and decide which one I like better.
That's true. But we went to the Apple store, as one does, and our little genius was so Gen Z.
I loved him. He said he was going to listen to the podcast. I hope he listens to this specific episode.
Me
I don't
too.
remember your name. I asked
I don't
it twice.
remember it either.
I asked it twice, like a
Luis.
mom.
I got it.
Luis
From the Apple store.
Big fans of yours.
We loved him so much.
He was so funny.
We were just saying so many like boomer things.
He was like, you don't know your password to anything. And I'm like, I literally set my password up when I was 16. That was so long ago. Like, what do you mean? Yeah, of course I don't have my password for my email. What do I look like?
Every time he was like, oh, just click this. And I was like, where? What?
Yeah, literally.
What's that?
Holding our phones simultaneously super far away, but also way too close. Like we can't, there's no good distance
You
to
could
look
just
at them.
see, like, he didn't know if he should laugh or be like, what's going on here?
Yeah, you could tell he wanted to laugh at us real bad.
Well, Luis from the Apple store.
He was a real stinker.
Thank you for your Cassidy called this man a stinker probably 4 times. You're such a little stinker.
He was a little stinker.
My favorite was she would look at me. She would look into my eyes and go, he's such a little stinker, isn't he?
A little stinker. He was.
Thank you for your service, sir.
Thank you for dealing with us for so long.
For like 2 hours.
We literally couldn't figure out anything. So we were like trying to figure out how to like process it together. But the Apple Pay or the Apple Care or whatever, you can't combine it. Also, you know what? I'm going to say it.
Oh, no.
I should be able to just walk into a store and give someone money and they give me the thing I'm trying to buy. Why is it so hard to buy electronics? There's like, you have to sign up for all these things. You have to do a loan. You have to do like,
no, it was so annoying because me and Cassidy walk in and they're like, oh, do you know what you want? And we go, we want that.
I literally go, we want these two. She wants the pink version and I want the blue version. They should have said, yes, here they are. Swipe your card. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
And instead, it literally took us like 2 hours of, I had to type in my social security number. Like what was going
times
on?
Too. Like, why did we have to do it so many times?
No
and then I filled out the whole thing. It took me like 10 minutes and then something happened and they go, oh, you have to do it again.
You have to do it again.
I was like, what? I don't want to do it again. It was crazy, but you know what? Luis made it worth it.
He did. He did. Yeah. It was. I'm just like, why can I not just give you my money and you give me I give you money, you give me phone.
Right.
Phone for money transaction. That's what I'm trying to complete here. Why do you not want my money? Why do you want me to fill out loan application that I don't want to do? I'm trying to pay you cash.
Literally.
I'm trying to give you real money, the whole amount. I'm not trying to make payments. I'm not trying to go through my service provider. I'm trying to just buy a phone.
Yeah, and then it's like every time we would say, no, we just want to do this, they would be like, or you could do, and then give us a list of 17
And I get
things.
that, like, that's not their fault. Like, that's how they're trained. Like, they're trained to do that. Like, you know, that's not little Luis's fault. That's fucking
Big Apple.
That's Big Apple. That's the Big Apple.
The Big Apple.
That's the Big Apple. Getting all up in your business. They want, like, why did I have to type my social security number in so many times? That was crazy.
It was crazy.
I'm getting how all these old people get scammed because they could have that could have had nothing to do with Apple. And he was just like, could you just put in your social security number here? And I was like, yes, sir. Like a good soldier, I will.
I had no idea what I was filling out.
Me either.
Like at all.
I remember at one point you go, am I buying a new phone plan? And he goes, no, just hit yes. Just hit.
A thing came up being like, oh, do you want to switch your T-Mobile like provider plan? And I'm like, do I need to call my husband and like figure this out? And he goes, no, it's okay. Just hit that. And I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was a lot. We're being aged out of technology is what's happening. Like actively like in front of our faces.
I know.
Ain't that crazy?
That experience was
humbling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really was. My phone was so broken. Every person they made me show it to went, what did you do to it?
Yeah. It was shattered completely on both sides.
Both sides, back and front, shattered.
And the fact that the guy was like, let's see if you get a trade-in. And you were like, I'm not going to get a trade-in. They were like, well, let's just see. And then it just was a big $0.
$0.
And he goes, well, sorry about that.
And I was like, yeah, brother, I knew before you did.
But thank the Lord, Cassidy finally has Apple Care.
I have Apple Care now, guys. So that means if I break this phone, it's only going to be $30 to fix it or replace it or whatever.
Perfect. And she won't go through life for years with a cracked phone.
Oh, yeah. It would just not charge sometimes. Like whenever, because everything was shifting in there. Everything was unsecured. Because like the point of the glass, I don't know if you guys know this, but the point of the outside of your phone is to keep the inside of the phone. My insides had left the inside of my phone and were frankly outside of the phone. And so I couldn't take my case off. I had stickers from our good friend Gossip Ghoul that were really structural.
Yeah.
Integral to the structure of my cell phone.
Yeah, it was like holding the glass
literally
together.
holding the glass together. I had cut myself on it before. And it'd been like this for like at least a year.
Oh, and then the best part was you took the case off and the case was completely broken.
Oh, the case was also broken. Yeah.
I was like, no wonder the phone keeps breaking. Your case is broken.
Yeah. So listen, I don't know what to tell you guys. I'm living a lifestyle that a lot of people can't keep up with, including myself, clearly. And the weirdest part is, do you guys want to know how I broke it? I was wearing tight jeans and it was in the back of my pants and I sat down and it just, I heard it crack like it was like a glow stick.
Oh.
You know that noise? Like that glow stick noise? That's what and I literally went, I think I was like out to dinner with my fiance or something. And I literally went, oh no. And he was like, what? And I was like, and I pulled it out and sure enough, just shattered.
Yeah.
Both sides, baby. Both sides.
But you have a case now.
I have a case and it's nice.
It's nice. I think we'll be able to
I think
keep
we
this
got
one
this.
intact.
I will tell you, I don't put my phone in my back pocket anymore.
Well, good.
And may this be a warning. When I told the Apple, he did not believe me, by the way. He was like, no, you threw this down a ravine and kick stomped it. Somebody was trying to murder you and you were reaching for your phone and they stepped on it in an attempt to keep you from the police. Like, that's what he thought happened for sure. And I was like, no, man. He did not like my joke. I was like, and the weird thing is, I don't even have like a fat ass. And he did not think it was funny because I have a very tiny ass. Anyone who knows me, we've talked about this before. I'm shaped like an AirPod. We all know this is true.
And then why did we keep talking about it?
You brought it up like 3 more times. I think because you were so uncomfortable that the laugh didn't. You were like, if we can get one laugh to hit, if we can just get one laugh out of this, it'll all be worth it.
Like I couldn't stop.
You couldn't stop.
I was like, we're just talking about Cassidy's flat ass.
Flat ass. Not mine.
And Luis was like, what is happening?
Like, and Luis is like, I should call HR at this point. But yeah, I saw it in your eyes. Every time you'd say it, you'd look at me and be like you were being held hostage by someone who was making you say it, but it was just yourself. You were holding the gun to your own head. That you had such a look of fear in your eyes every time you said it.
I thought I was doing a bit.
She was like, he's gonna laugh at one of these. And if he laughs, it makes it okay. It makes
well, he laughed, but it was more like
it was a pity laugh. It was a pity laugh.
And like looked to the side, like
but that
anyone gonna help?
That was like right off rip. I feel like if that joke would have hit 75 minutes into the set, it probably would have gotten a laugh. And yeah, it does take that long, you guys. To give somebody money for a product, it takes that long, if you're wondering.
It really does.
So yeah.
So now you know our Apple experience.
Now you know what we've been up to. What about you guys? Speaking of loyal people, loyal listeners,
please.
Let's welcome some of our new cool kids.
Yes.
All right. So what? Oh my God.
The name
you're gonna give me right off rip here. There is not a vowel in sight, so I'm just gonna read this one off. Welcome to VNNMR. Venomeister.
MNR.
I'm gonna call you the
Venomeister.
Welcome to Wendy B.
Hello, Wendy.
Welcome to Taylor.
Hi, Taylor.
Welcome to Alexandra C.
Hello, Alexandra.
And thank you to Rabia, who edited your pledge to the whole year.
Thank you.
We totally dig you. That is available if you are looking for a belated Mother's Day gift for your spooky mom, or looking for a birthday present or something like that for somebody. You can gift Patreon subscriptions as well. And you can find that at patreon.com/drinkingthekool-aid. You will be able to find our recap of our book club on there, our newest episode. I'm not even going to reveal the name. Okay, I'm going to keep it secret because we have the first episode on Patreon right now. It's a Patreon exclusive. It's going to get unveiled to everybody else in like a week or two. We're like working on the timeline. But if you are on Patreon, you can listen to it right meow.
Yes, you can. Oh, and thank you all for the love on our new logo.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Yes. So if you are noticing that it is different and you are seeing our faces.
Hopefully you had no problem finding us.
Yeah. And there we are. Just our little faces.
Thank you to Angelica for doing that amazing photo shoot for us. It was really wonderful. You can find her tagged on our Instagram. If you're in the LA area, hit her up. She's an amazing photographer. And she also does really cool clay art.
Mm-hmm.
And she also teaches pottery throwing classes. So
hell yeah.
Go check her out. One last thank you to Anne motherfucking Murphy.
Okay.
That's exactly how Anne wrote this out.
I love it.
Love that. Bought us some beers and said, "Hey there, you beautiful little freaks. You covered my request the other day of Jane Toppin."
Oh,
that was a rough one.
Yeah, it was.
I'm sorry it was so murdery. Yep. Compared to what your usual tales are. But cheers to you guys. I want to have a potato party as well now because what an icon that man is. Please keep making me cry laugh until my abs hurt. You girls are the best. You're the bee's knees. Thank you, Anne motherfucking Murphy. we really appreciate your guys' support. Like, I mean, it just means the world to us. And as we have more things coming out and more stuff starting, I just hope you guys know you guys are the only reason we get to do that. And we are so very aware of that and very, very grateful. So thank you so much for that. Yeah.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
With that, how about we get started?
Let's get started.
Well, today,
Junior,
I'm going to be talking about the BSAA Stardust incident.
Okay.
Yes. So my sources today were the BBC documentary called Vanished, Plane and Pilot Magazine by Isabel Goyer, PBS.com, their like Nova series, and of course, Wikipedia. Also, PBS, we love you.
We do.
And thank you for trying to give empathy for generations to people who fight it so virulently. All right. So on August 2nd, 1947.
Sorry, that's a trigger for me.
August 2nd.
It's my shitty ex-boyfriend's birthday.
Oh, I was like, is there something I should know about? The way you gasped, like, there were more bad things that happened. What's wrong? You were like, when I'm president, August 2nd's illegal, actually.
Like, I didn't even mean for that to happen. It just came out.
No, you were quite literally triggered.
I know.
1947. The Stardust, which was a British South American Airways Avro Lancastrian airliner, was on a flight from Buenos Aires, Argentina to Santiago, Chile.
Okay.
Yes. So on board were 11 people total. It was a pretty small, it actually was like a wartime craft that they had like changed into post World War II, changed into like an airliner.
I don't know if I'm mentally prepared to talk about a plane crash right now.
Well, just wait.
Okay.
Listen.
Okay.
Don't put the cart before the horse.
I'm sorry.
On board were 11 people. There were 6 passengers and 5 crew members. So the crew members were the captain. His name was Reginald Cook. He was an experienced former Royal Air Force pilot with combat experience during World War II.
I like his name.
Reginald Cook.
Reginald Cook.
The first officer was Norman Hilton Cook. And the second officer was Donald Checklin. No relation, by the way, to the Cooks.
Are you serious?
Yeah. They also both served in the Royal Air Force. So these are people who have tons of flight experience and literally during wartime, which is like the scariest time to fly. Norman Cook, who was the second officer, had been awarded the Distinguished Service Order and the Distinguished Flying Cross while serving in the Royal Air Force.
Okay.
So big time. The radio operator, Dennis Harmer, also served during World War II, and he had been working as a radio operator as a civilian for years. And the flight attendant, her name was Iris Evans. She served in the Women's Royal Navy Service as a chief petty officer. So like these are all people who have like tons of experience.
Yeah.
Wartime experience and civilian experience. These are professionals. They know what they're doing, right?
As they should, yes.
The passengers included many different nationalities, including Palestinian, Swiss, German, and British passengers.
Okay.
So the flight was about 900 miles, and the last bit is going over the Andes Mountains, which we've talked about before in other plane crash scenarios.
How could I ever forget the Andes Mountain incident?
So the plane was in communication with the airport in Santiago and was set to land in about 4 minutes. So it was super close.
Okay.
When a message comes through via Morse code to the airport from the Stardust, and the message is STENDEC. Stendek.
Stendek.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was trying to like figure out what the word was in my head. And I was like, I have no idea.
It's not a real word. Okay. So there you go. So this is not a message or any sort of terminology that the air traffic controller tower is aware of. So they ask for clarification, and the message is just repeated 2 more times. Stendek, Stendek.
Okay.
Obviously, the tower is still confused because what does that mean? asks for clarification again, but is met with radio silence. And then the Stardust never lands. No sign of it at all.
And it only had 4 minutes to go.
4 minutes to go. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it had sent right before the Stendeck thing, it had sent like their approximate landing time, and it was 4 minutes from the time the message was received.
Yeah, and they had like, they clearly had eyes on it because they knew where it was. They could track it with them talking to it.
Yes, but it was all through Morse code, not through like radio, because it's in 1947.
Okay.
So it's not like when they're talking to each other, like, you know, vector, vector. I don't know what they say to each other.
Yeah, I would imagine that.
Yeah.
Whatever you just said.
Vector, vector.
Vector, vector.
But so they would just do like the beep, 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 like Morse code. Beep, beep, beep,
Yeah.
beep, 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 beep.
That is so crazy to me. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's like that's another language.
Oh, totally. And so, of course, like when the person got the first Stendeck message, they assumed it was some sort of like mistyping, misspelling, or like, you know, because it's Morse code, like maybe they just accidentally beeped wrong or whatever. But then they repeated it twice
The
exact same way.
I would
Again.
imagine Morse code that would happen often.
That you get a little beep, a wrong little beep off.
Like, especially when you're like in the zone, just like beep, beep, extra. And then people are like, what the fuck?
Pause when you don't mean to.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what if you have a stutter and you're doing Morse code?
People are like,
You're fucked.
people are like, what did he just say to me?
Yeah, excuse me?
What did you say?
You called my mother a what? Luckily, we don't have to use Morse code. I would simply just perish, I believe.
Yeah, no, thank you.
So like I said, the plane just doesn't show up.
Okay.
No sign of it at all. So at first they're thinking maybe there was some sort of like error in the timing, and that's what they were trying to say with this Stendeck message. Nobody really knows what's going on, but after 15 minutes and there's no more communication, the alarms were obviously raised that something potentially very bad had happened here. A massive search begins for the plane. It's assumed that they crashed, but knowing that they were only about 4 minutes out and had made contact previously, they knew where to search, right?
Yeah, they knew the area.
So there was a massive search. The resulting search lasted about 5 days, where there were pilots and civilian pilots and military pilots alike searching from sun up to sundown. Both Chilean and Argentinian military search teams, and it also included fellow BSAA pilots, which is the British South American Airlines. Pilots were involved in this search, so people who understood these routes. And there were 3 different routes that you could take depending on how the weather was to get to the airport in Santiago. And so they literally only searched along those routes in a certain amount of time, right? Or like in a certain amount of miles, because that's where the plane would have to be.
Yeah.
Because they were in contact with the airport.
That's what I was saying. Like, they kind of had a trace of where they were.
Yes. So despite having this last known location and the search starting basically immediately that day, not a single trace of the aircraft or its passengers were found.
When planes disappear like that,
Yeah.
and are never found, that is always like the craziest thing to me.
Honestly, anything, any person, any vehicle, ship. I mean, I don't know. I guess
planes are bigger than like just one person getting lost.
Yeah.
Or a car even. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing. They didn't find any trace at all of the crash. So it wasn't even like they're looking for a full plane. They're like, we're looking for a wing or
anything,
a light or
to just
a
show us
tire
that they
point.
did crash.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, sounds maybe
you got some theories.
I mean,
lots of people got some theories.
I'm
girl.
just saying, if a plane just disappears in thin air,
just wait. It gets even
okay.
weirder.
All right, tell me.
So at one point during the search, there was a local ham radio operator who thought that he received a very faint SOS message. So that inspired hope in the rescue searchers. But despite continued searching, nothing ever came of it. And it really seemed like the plane had just completely vanished into thin air.
Dun, dun, dun.
And while obviously over the Andes, the weather is never like perfectly ideal, it was not like really bad weather.
Okay.
There was a snowstorm, I think, that hit like later that night which they thought like could have been part of like what would cover it up. But once again, it was nothing that heavy that they're like, we should be able to find something. And they have so many planes going back and forth over this search area, right? And there's just literally nothing. And we actually talked about this in our I did an episode about a small plane of like a, what are they called? The really small passenger, or not passenger planes, like
a Vesna? Or is that?
Why was I about to say Vespa, which is not the right thing? Vespas are.
Isn't a Vespa?
Cessna.
That's why
what
did we both do that?
Same brain.
That's weird.
A Cessna plane went missing with a senator, remember, in Alaska.
Yes.
And they never found it. And we looked up the stats, and it's like 98.9% of plane crashes are found almost immediately, or at least they can see the site. If it's not like accessible, if it's somewhere that's like in the mountains or whatever.
And this isn't a small plane, right?
It's bigger than a Cessna, but it's like not as large as like the planes that we get on today.
Like a 747
yeah,
or whatever.
Yeah. Like, you know, when you have to get on like those small little planes because it's like just from like one small airport to another small airport. I'm assuming it's like around that size.
Okay.
Like they just have like the rows of two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still decent sized.
Yeah. So, of course, when this happens, the media around it was absolutely wild. The Roswell incident had actually just happened like a couple months before. So people were convinced that there was some sort of code in the flight crew's final message, or that the message had been sent by somebody who was not a part of the flight crew, and they were intercepting some sort of other coded message.
Okay.
Of course, many of the crew and passengers' families held out hope that their loved ones would be found, which is rare but not unheard of, right? I covered that Miracle in the Andes story, which happened in the 70s.
That ruined my life.
But as time went by, it became more and more clear that the people on the Stardust that day were not coming home.
Damn.
Theories continue to fly about what happened. UFO was, of course, a really big one. There was actually a UFO magazine that started around that time, and they named it the Stendeck.
Oh.
Yeah. But other people had other ideas. So maybe it was an intentional attack on this plane. People thought that there could have been a bomb on the plane. One of the passengers was actually a British diplomatic courier, or a king's messenger, which this is somebody who hand carries sensitive documents from like one intelligence person to another. And so things were not really going good between Argentina and Britain at the time, because I'm sure many people know about a lot of Nazis fleeing to South America after World War II. But they were having diplomatic issues at the time. So some people thought that maybe the information on the plane, there was some sort of like Argentinian plot to blow up the plane so that information didn't reach its intended destination. Also, the Palestinian man who was on board was allegedly a very rich businessman who even said that he had diamonds sewn into his suit for safekeeping to travel, because he was traveling with such an expensive diamond. And so people thought that maybe he could have been a target either by, a civilian rival, a government rival. Obviously, we know what started happening to Palestine after World War II. So that was another theory that people had in mind. The conspiracy theories continue to run wild. And for the next 50 years, people are speculating about this. It keeps coming up. Is it a government conspiracy? Was the pilot off course? Was it a UFO? We don't know.
Well, if the pilot was off course, I mean, I guess they would. No, it was only 4 minutes. I mean, I guess you can go kind of far in a plane in 4 minutes.
But it's just like being that close is so crazy. Like being that close to the airport. You know what I mean? Like it's not like they went missing during the time where they were over a section where they weren't in communication. Like they were in communication already with
that's what I'm
airport
saying.
Yeah, it's so strange. But then in 1998, 2 Argentinian mountaineers were climbing Mount Tupungato, which is about 50 miles east of the Santiago airport. And they found the wreckage of a Rolls-Royce Merlin aircraft engine, which is the exact same type of engine that was used in the Stardust.
No. 50 years?
50 years and only 50 miles away. in an area that was heavily searched at the time.
Oh, it was.
Mm-hmm. It was basically exactly the area that they pinpointed to search.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say maybe they did steer off course and like no one searched that area, but especially if people are hiking that area too, like often.
Yeah. I don't think it's often. It's the Andes, so they're like mountaineers. It's not like me. I'm not going to be up there.
Yeah, but probably
bopping around.
A couple at least.
Yeah.
In 50 years.
So the area was actually so isolated that it took them like a year and a half to get a planned like an army expedition to go up there and like search the rest of the area.
Oh shit!
Because it was you had to go by like an all-terrain vehicle basically, like they had these like military like jeeps or whatever they call them. And it was a 5 days drive to get to the area. So like I said, it was like pretty remote, but they had literally flown over this area, like very specifically searched this area heavily.
Well,
so
that changes my theory.
So in 2000, an Argentine army expedition did go up, did this 5-day trek up there and found additional wreckage. So this included a propeller and wheels. And this is one of the things that just fucking blows my mind. And I couldn't really find a good explanation as to why online. One of the wheels had a completely intact and inflated tire. The tire was still inflated 50 years later.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I know why.
The wreckage was also in like only within like a mile span of space instead of like a 5-mile span of space where basically they said like if it would have been a mid-air explosion, like if a bomb would have gone off or something, the wreckage would be so much more spread out because it would scatter from such a high distance.
So they're assuming crash.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they also think that it would have been a head-on impact because with the ground, because of the way that the propellers were damaged, because they did end up finding the propellers that were obviously a part of the
They didn't
plane.
find any people?
Human remains were also recovered.
Okay.
3 full torsos, a foot that was still in a boot, and a perfectly preserved manicured hand were found. All of the remains were found undecomposed because of the weather conditions in the Andes. So like the hand literally, like I'm not going to show you the picture because I know you'll be mad at me forever.
There's a photo.
But there's a photo that was very popular around this story that's literally this perfectly manicured female hand, and it's from the flight attendant.
From the flight attendant?
Because they do DNA test all of the
Holy
remains.
Fuck.
Yeah. Because like I said, a lot of the families, I mean, at this point, it's like the younger cousins and grandkids, you know what I mean? Because this is 50 years later. So a lot of the people who were actively in these people's lives are passed away, are very, very old. But they did do DNA testing with the family members to figure out whose bodies they did recover.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And like I said, one of the propellers that was recovered showed that the engine was absolutely running and was probably at cruising speed at the time of impact. So they didn't slow down at all, and there was no engine failure in the situation.
Kind of crazy that that's all they found, though. Like 3 torsos and a hand.
And
a foot in a boot.
According to the documentary that I watched, they only found 10% of the plane.
Interesting.
Yeah. Which obviously it's been 50 years, but everything was like super well preserved, like crazy well preserved. Yeah. So of course there are no answers as to what happened in any of these discoveries. What the heck is Stendek? Why were they not able to recover or find the crash site the day that it happened? Because they literally started looking the day that it happened.
Yeah.
And so of course there are many, many theories.
As there should be.
About what happened. I will give you first the Argentine Air Force investigation results. So in 2000, they did do an investigation, like an official investigation that cleared Cook, who was the pilot, of all wrongdoing And they said that the crash was a result from, quote, a heavy snowstorm or very cloudy weather, which resulted in the crew being unable to correct their positioning and running into a mountain peak, basically.
Okay. And what's the explanation for not finding them for 50 years?
They don't have anything.
Got it.
But there's some people who have a theory that there might have been some sort of issue with the compression in the plane, which might have caused hypoxia, and that could have caused the strange messages that they were sending to the airport. So this is the theory that the last message that was sent by the Stardust was ETA Santiago 17.45 hours and then Stendek. So of course the Chilean Air Force was like, what the heck is Stendek? But he did say that it came in loud and clear, which was one of the reasons that they were super sure that the flight had to have been close whenever whatever happened. He didn't recognize what Stendek meant. So again, he asked and heard Stendek repeated twice more, which is strange, right?
Yeah.
Because if it was a mistype or misspelling or an accident, why would it be repeated perfectly the exact same 2 more times? One of the theories is that because there was an issue with the compression in the plane, that the radio controller could have been suffering from hypoxia. It's when your brain is not getting enough oxygen, and so you literally become drunk or disoriented.
Okay.
And
but once again, why would it be repeated exactly the same way?
And so people were thinking maybe he tried to type the word descent.
Okay.
But typed Stendek.
But exactly the same 3 times?
Yes. So I thought, at first I was like, okay, that makes sense. If your plane is crashing and you type it wrong, but typing it wrong 3 times the exact same way 3 times in a row is actually crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. That's like
when you're drunk and you're texting somebody and you misspell something, you're not going to do it the same way every time.
No. Yeah.
It's going to look like gibberish and different letters.
Yeah. You're trying
time.
to correct yourself. Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. To me, I was like, okay, that made sense. And then I really thought about it and I was like, I don't know about that. And then there's other people who thought that maybe Stendek could have stood for something. But unfortunately, all of the ideas that people came up with are not known radio
signals,
phrases. You know what I mean? They were like, well, maybe they were using it in the war in Britain, but there's nobody confirming that any of these things actually existed. And there's no point in doing a shorthand version of something if people don't know what it means.
Yeah.
So some people believe that Stendek stands for severe turbulence encountered, now descending emergency crash landing.
Okay.
But I think that's once again just kind of yeah, I guess that's what those letters could mean, but there's no proof or evidence of that ever being used in the British military as an acronym. So if it was used as an acronym, that could make sense, but there's literally no proof of that ever being a thing.
Yeah, I think that's a reach.
Yeah. So like I said, one of the main theories from the military is that they just frankly didn't see the mountaintop. They thought they were closer than they were, started descending, and because of the clouds, they didn't see that there was another peak in front of them, and that maybe hitting the mountain caused an avalanche which covered the crash site, and that's why people weren't able to find them.
I mean, I suppose that's an okay theory.
I think the only thing, the reason people online are skeptical of this is because literally everybody in the crew was a complete pro and had thousands of hours of flight time in much more perilous conditions than the ones they were in that day. That does not mean that people are infallible, right? People make mistakes, even pros. But it just is seems strange. And even if there was an avalanche, that would have been noted by the search crews that there was a recent avalanche, because you can tell the disturbance, right? Yeah. Another theory that's mostly been ruled out, like I said, is sabotage, just because of a bomb or whatever, just because the way that the wreckage was located, that just doesn't seem plausible. Or a plane failure. So this is really weird. 2 more sister planes to the Stardust. Their names were the Star Tiger and the Star Ariel. Also vanished in good weather while on a flight from Bermuda to Jamaica. 20 passengers and crew were lost. Once again, no distress signal was received.
Okay, that's weird.
Yeah. So people were like, okay, maybe there was like an issue with the plane that like would cause it to just like nosedive. But there was no wreckage found for either of those planes either.
Ever?
As far as I know, I didn't look into them because that's not what my story is about. But from the article I was reading, they went missing. Yeah.
So do we think that whoever was in charge of this plane company, the Stardust, maybe or the and whoever created these planes, the Stardust and the sister planes, obviously, maybe had something to do with this?
I don't know. That's actually not one of the theories that I read.
I'm thinking.
So I'm saying, work it out, girl. Let's see. Allegedly, in her opinion, let's hear it.
I'm thinking back
Let's speculate wildly.
The Titanic.
Okay. Yes.
And how J.P. Morgan, allegedly, a theory is that he purposely had it, sunk to get insurance money.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, what are the odds? Come on.
Yeah.
3 planes
that would disappear.
Yeah.
So a lot of people who find this very strange do still firmly believe that there was some sort of extraterrestrial or UFO involvement. And there are some people who think that the plane could have gone into some sort of like time warp.
Thank you. I was waiting. Literally this entire time I was like, are we not going to ever say like a time warp situation?
Time slip situation because of the very well preserved body parts. And also because of like the still inflated tire and just how pristine all of the crash was. It just seemed really strange that it would have been missed.
That was my number one theory, by the way.
So there are a lot of people who still believe that and think that a UFO or something could have been involved.
The only thing, obviously, with the time slip thing is what the fuck is Stendek?
Yes. And so like the Stendek thing is really like the question that just will probably never be answered.
Yeah.
And it's so mysterious. I don't even know if we would be hearing about this story if the Stendek message hadn't have been sent, right? But the Stendek thing is really freaking weird.
Yeah.
And like you said,
like, what does that mean?
The radio operator literally had like medals of valor from World War II and had done both civilian and military exactly this job.
Yeah.
He had done it for years, decades, like that's so strange that he would suddenly either send an acronym that nobody's heard of or forget how to do his job.
Yeah.
And also the hypoxia thing doesn't make sense because he sent ETA Santiago 17.5 hours perfectly. That's not mixed up at all. So why is Stendek? Right?
Yeah, I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
But the time slip thing, that's usually my go-to.
Yeah. People like the time slip theory. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe a UFO booped him up and booped him back down, but 50 years later, we don't know.
I mean, that's possible.
Yeah.
But then again,
it's just such a strange...
Everything was so preserved.
It's just such a strange, bizarre story.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's one of those ones that's going to drive me crazy forever now because we're never going to know what Stendek meant. And the worst part about stuff like this is it's like, it could mean something and it could mean nothing. And we'll never know.
I mean, it means something 3 times in a row.
Yeah, the 3 times in a row is really...
In Morse code.
Is really, what got me.
Yeah.
That perfectly sent it 3 times in a row.
It means something.
There was someone on Reddit who was like saying that apparently it's only a little bit off in Morse code from the identifier from a different airport than the one they were going to. So maybe he was trying to contact that other airport, but then that wouldn't make any sense because they knew what airport they were going to. Like, because I saw a lot of people be like, that's it, it's solved. But then when I read into that, I was like, but they knew what airport they were going to.
Maybe they were 100% convinced that that code was for the airport they were going to. Like maybe they just got misinformation.
No. Like it was the name of the airport. They knew where they were going. They knew they were going to the Santiago airport. So like that's why I'm like, I guess I can see that. Like maybe they thought they were off track and they were like, hey, we actually need to land at this other airport. I don't know. But they sent it so many times and then they had to have crashed like basically immediately.
Yeah.
Like it's just so weird. But I'm glad a lot in the documentary. If you are interested in this, the documentary Vanished by BBC is really good. You can find it online. But the families are very happy to have their loved ones' remains home, and have like the question answered. And we say this all the time, but like the where are they question is harder than
burying
even
them.
than just burying them and having them rest at peace. So that is very good. And thank you to the military agents who went up there and did that. And they held like an impromptu ceremony up there also, because obviously all the remains weren't found. So that was very sweet. And the documentary is really good if you are interested in this kind of stuff. But yeah, so that is the mystery of the Stardust incident.
That is
/ crash.
Very mysterious.
Yeah. All right, girly, lay it on me.
All right, girly pop. So today we're going to be talking about a dude.
Okay.
Our favorite subject.
Dubious. A dubious dude.
Dubious dude. Kind of, actually. A little bit.
Okay.
Well, we'll
I assume they usually are.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about Sam Patch, America's very first Daredevil.
Oh. No. I'm going to love this. I don't know anything about this.
Do you not?
I do not.
Oh.
But I love Daredevils.
Okay, perfect. So I can't wait until I tell you this thing that's in my brain right now. Okay. My sources were NewYorkUpstate.com by Jonathan Croyle, AmericanHeritage.com by Richard Dorson, RochesterHistoryAlive.com, WeirdNewJersey.com.
Ooh.
Love Weird New Jersey.
We love New Jersey.
By Mark and Mark. Love that too.
Of course it's 2 marks.
Wikipedia. And then, most importantly, an episode of Drunk History. And let me tell you something right now, Cassidy.
I love Drunk History.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Who is it?
Hold the fucking phone.
Oh, no. It's about to be someone that I either love or hate. I can feel it.
Can you just give me a guess on who you think played Sam Patch in Drunk History?
Tim Robinson?
No.
Kyle Mooney?
Kyle motherfucking Mooney.
It's me.
So basically, the whole time I'm telling the story, I think you just need to picture Kyle Mooney.
Mm-hmm. I'm getting
and I
myself
think it'll
there.
get yourself there.
Does he have a mustache or anything? Like, what am I?
He doesn't have a
picturing?
mustache.
Okay.
He has kind of like long, like his crinkly locks
it's the
that he
classic
has.
Kyle Mooney look.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When I watched this one, I was like, oh, Kyle Mooney. Obviously, I have to talk about him.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Being Sam Patch, the character. Of course. All right. So Sam Patch, aka Kyle Mooney, was born in Massachusetts sometime around 1807. We don't have like an exact date. They kind of like say, could be 1807, could be this date. It's the 1800s. That's none of my business.
Frankly, it barely exists to her.
Really. It's on the fucking edge of existing in my eyes. So he was raised in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. His father had a very interesting name. His name was Mayo Greenleaf Patch.
Okay.
Sounds made up, but I don't know.
Mayo Greenleaf Patch sounds like something that somebody on TikTok shop would be trying to sell me to quit vaping.
Get your Mayo Greenleaf Patch now. Only $9.99 if you buy it through my link.
I know some people are so pissed right now because they bought this at full price 2 days ago, but now you get it 50% off with free shipping. Swipe. Fuck you. Block.
So Mayo, he married a woman named Abigail McIntyre. Sam Patch was one of 6 siblings, who his siblings also had some interesting names as well. There was Molly. That's a normal name.
Normal name, yeah.
Greenleaf.
Okay, carry on the family name.
Nabby.
Okay. Sure.
Isaac. And Samuel.
God, imagine your parents name you Nabby.
Yeah.
And your siblings are Molly and Isaac.
And Samuel.
Like just the most normal names ever. Yeah.
And then there's Greenleaf and Nabby over here.
Oh my goodness gracious.
But I did say Sam was one of 6. So there was an additional sibling that unfortunately died as an infant. His name was also Samuel.
Oh.
So he died.
No pressure.
And then they renamed their next son.
They used to do that a lot back then.
I say do not.
Yeah, I
Do
would
not
say
do that.
do not do that.
Please do not do that.
That seems a little
Dubious?
replacement baby. Yeah, a little dubious on their part.
So Sam's childhood was not the best. His father, Mayo Greenleaf, the first, I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
He was an alcoholic, and he would often lose his jobs and be unemployed, which made it so that his kids had to work at a very young age.
Ah, okay. Child labor.
Absolutely. Little Sam, he was like 7 or 8 when he started working, and he started working spinning cotton in a mill.
Okay.
Something kind of unheard of for the time, I would say. Sam's mom, Abigail, was so fed up with Mayo Greenleaf being like a deadbeat and an alcoholic and not fulfilling his duties as a father and a husband. She fucking filed for divorce in 1818 and left his ass.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And that was like super unheard of. Like that never happened.
That was like barely legal to do.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And she fucking did it. So she's a fucking badass.
We love you for it.
Yeah. But now more than ever, Sam still needed to work to be able to, help support his family, obviously. And he ended up being really, really good at his job that he was eventually promoted to head spinner, which was basically like the manager. And he was only like a teenager.
I was about to say at 12 years old. Imagine
at only 12 years old.
You're like this like 35-year-old disgruntled worker. And they're like,
imagine.
Can I speak to the manager? And
it's
the
a 12-year-old.
It's a 12-year-old.
Hi.
Balls haven't dropped yet.
I think he wasn't real. I think he was like a teen though. I think he was like 14 or 15. Like he wasn't old.
Oh man.
Now, although Sam was really good at his job, it was like very boring. It was kind of like a grueling job to do. So to pass the time at work and during their lunch breaks, he and a bunch of the other boys that worked at the mill would get drunk at the ripe age of, 14 or 15.
You love to see it, yeah.
And they would jump off the mill into a deep pool of water to entertain themselves.
Okay.
And this is where Sam's love for jumping off of high heights began.
You know what? Sometimes you're just born with that jackass gene.
Literally. He's the OG Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah, like you're just like, yeah, this is it. This is it for me.
Yeah.
I luckily was born with the dumbass gene instead of the jackass gene. So I have a different set of issues and interests, but...
Are you afraid of heights?
Terrified.
I thought you were.
I have nightmares about being high places.
Really?
Yeah.
So you would never like skydive or bungee jump?
Never. I've been bungee jumping. It was terrifying.
You went bungee jumping?
I did when I was like 17.
Oh.
Yeah. I was still in high school, I think. But I would know you couldn't pay me to go skydiving.
Wow.
Like genuinely, you would have to put a gun to my head and be like, it's either getting shot in the fucking head or jumping out of this plane with a parachute and an instructor.
And the instructor.
And the instructor better fucking be there. But I don't even enjoy it. Like I don't even enjoy those rides that like free fall drop.
Ooh, I love those. I hate like a Dr. Doom ride.
Yeah, or like Guardians of the Galaxy or whatever, all those like at Disney. I don't even like those. Like they genuinely scare me. Like I get like heart palpitations.
Oh, interesting.
Any other ride, totally fine. But those droppy ones, so I know that I wouldn't enjoy just falling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go skydiving, but I also know I'll be really scared.
I'll support you from way over here. If you get to go skydiving, I get to go swim with sharks. I think that's fair trade. I think that's a fair trade.
Right?
That's
a tough one. I don't know. We'll see about that. So when he was in his early 20s, like I think he was either just 20 or 21 maybe, he ended up moving to Paterson, New Jersey, and he started to work at another mill. And here he quickly gets the reputation of being a drunk. Mm-hmm. He loves his alcohol. And the people at work also didn't really like him. They said he was a harsh boss and that he always had a chip on his shoulder because he thought he was better than everybody else.
Ah, classic.
Mm-hmm. But he's also still, like from time to pass the time at work, on breaks, whatever, he's jumping off the mills.
He's jumping off stuff.
It's the only thing that makes him happy in this world. So he's jumping off things literally any chance he gets. Off little cliffs, off small bridges. Whatever he can get his little grubby paws on.
Why not?
So on September 29th, 1827, this developer named Tim Crane was set to unveil a new toll bridge over the Passaic Falls in New Jersey.
I actually know where that is.
There you go. So most people in the area, they were really pissed about this new toll bridge because who the fuck wants to pay money every time they have to go over the bridge to get somewhere?
I do. I am very anti-toll road.
It's so annoying.
My taxes are already paying for these roads to exist, and now you're going to charge me extra to drive on them?
Yeah, like every time I have to go under like a tunnel or over a bridge, like go fuck your...
No,
or even just
that's
on the freeway sometimes.
Such bullshit.
It's fucking bullshit. I don't
Yeah.
care that it's only $6. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I hate that shit.
And then if you don't pay the toll, they're like, oh, you didn't pay the toll. You missed your deadline. So now it's $150.
No, things like that, like taxes on like gas, toll, whatever, or fines like when you overuse water or whatever. Those are just taxes on the poor.
Yeah.
Because rich people don't give a fuck about them.
No.
It doesn't affect their life whatsoever. And if we actually taxed rich people, we wouldn't have to pass along these fees. Because like $6 to someone who only has $4 to put gas in their car to begin with is a lot of money.
And it's always like the working class too. Like it's people that like, oh, I need to go to work. I need to go over that bridge to go to work.
I was gonna say it's people who can't afford to live where they work
Exactly.
because it's too expensive, so they have to commute. Yeah, it's literally all it's all such bullshit.
Yeah, it's a scam.
Tax the millionaires.
Tax the rich.
Tax the rich.
Eat the rich.
Eat the rich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam was also one of these people, clearly, that was not happy about this bridge being built. So he starts coming up with a plan to disrupt the opening ceremony to unveil the bridge. And he's basically like, I'm going to protest this thing. Like, fuck them.
Comrade Sam.
Exactly. So he starts telling everyone, like, I'm going to jump off the bridge into the water and basically steal the spotlight from the ceremony as like a form of protest. Well, since he couldn't stop telling every single person he literally could see, Tim Crane hears about this plan. And the day of the ceremony, the police come to Sam's house. They're like, boom, 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 police. And they take him and they lock him in a basement to try to keep him away from the bridge until the ceremony's over.
Honestly, that would be me. I would not be able to keep it secret at all.
No.
I would spill my guts probably immediately.
So there's little Kyle Mooney locked in a basement. What is he to do?
He doesn't deserve that.
No. But little did they know, you can't keep Sam Patch locked away for long.
Mm-mm.
He somehow ends up breaking out of the basement and he pops up on top of the bridge, smack dab in the middle of the ceremony, wearing a t-shirt and his underwear.
Good for him.
That's right.
That'll cause a scene.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
He then jumped off the 70-foot bridge, first in a cannonball style with his arms holding onto his knees. And then as he gets closer to the water, he straightens out his body like a pencil. So like legs out, arms completely to his side.
Yeah.
And he gets into the water.
Because that's the way you're supposed to go in when you go from like a really high height. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was like his signature move, kind of. Like he starts off in a cannonball and then immediately like pin straights.
Okay. Got it.
Like
pencils
feet
up.
first. Yeah.
Pencils up.
Pencils
okay.
up.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Got it.
So everyone that's watching, because obviously there was a crowd there to watch the unveiling of this bridge, everyone watches and they gasp as they see him hit the water. So they're assuming like this man absolutely just jumped to his death. Like that's crazy.
What a protest that would be.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a 70-foot fall. Like, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
But Sam, being the showman that he was, he said, watch this, everybody. So he holds his breath under the water for as long as he can.
Thank God. I was going to say that's the move. You have to pretend. So everyone's like,
exactly. For like, minutes.
30 seconds or whatever. Yeah.
As long as he could. Until he finally pops up to reveal himself and the crowd goes wild. So he basically becomes this local celebrity from this moment. And he earns himself the nickname of the Jersey Jumper.
I love that. That's so good.
He also now has crowds of people that would come watch him jump. So on July 4th, 1828, he jumps that same bridge at Passaic Falls and like for a crowd of people.
Yeah.
And then he does it again 15 days later with his crowd just kind of growing and growing every time.
Yeah.
Sam then goes on a jumping tour. So in Hoboken, New Jersey, he jumps from a 90-foot ship's mast into the Hudson River.
Oh, that's crazy.
Hudson River, where I grew up, in front of 500 people. And he kind of just continues this little tour around the East Coast, jumping off of anything he can to entertain the masses.
Okay, I have a question for you
Yes.
about the psychology of people who like go to things like this.
Okay.
Do you think they go because they want him to fail or because they want to see him do it?
I think it's I think it's both, right? Like, I think it's like, can he do this type of thing? Like, if they see either or, it's going to be exciting. If they see him die, it's going to be exciting. And if they see him survive it, it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I guess like my thought is like anybody who would go to anything like that is somebody who's okay with the idea of seeing someone die, kill themselves, basically.
Well, 100%. But I also think that they never actually, like in the back of their mind, they're like, he's for sure going to survive.
They expect,
they don't think it's going to happen, but there's always that little bit of like, ooh, what if it did?
Yeah.
You know, and that's exciting to people.
Yeah.
I don't think that's exciting.
Yeah.
Personally.
It's not something I would personally probably want to go see. Like if everyone else was doing it, I probably would go.
If everyone else, I mean, first, all right, you got to put this into perspective here, Cassidy.
Yeah.
This is the 1800s.
No, you're right.
What
There's
the
no
fuck
TV.
else is anyone doing?
There's barely books.
Nobody's doing shit. They're sitting at home. They're churning butter. Like, would you rather churn butter and get your arms all like sore every day? Or would you rather watch this guy possibly survive or maybe die? Who knows? We don't know. We gotta go see because there's nothing else to do. I'm bored.
And I'm like sure there was beer involved and stuff.
Probably.
I would assume.
Most likely.
Okay. Yeah.
Drinking and watching people do shit like this, that would be the only exciting thing in the 1800s.
It's like monster trucks and shit like that.
I would not survive in the 1800s, frankly.
You would have died of boredom.
Yes, I get
years
too
ago.
bored. I can't handle it.
What would you do without reality TV?
I don't know.
You would just become a peeping Tom, but not for like sexy stuff, for like couples fighting.
Yeah.
You'd be like at the window, so like,
I'm like, I smell a fight.
Yeah.
I need to know what's going on. What's the tea?
Yeah, you'd be like, I heard at church that Fiona and her husband were having an argument. She was going to confront him tonight. Does anyone want to check out their bay window later?
Honestly, that could also be kind of fun.
Little peep.
Little peep
never hurt
Little
anybody.
peep. So Sam, he would obviously jump to get fame. And then when he wasn't jumping, like all the other days of the week, basically, he would just drink all the time from morning till night. Because once again, this is the 1800s. What else are you going to do?
And he's missing the thrill from all the jumping.
Exactly. He would also use his fame to make some extra money. So at night, he would put himself on display at a dime museum.
Okay.
So basically, he would stand in like a window and people would come and pay a dime to either see him.
Just to look at him?
Yeah.
Just catch a gander?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Sometimes they would, hear him. He was very like into speech making because he thought who the hell he was,
Yeah.
So he loved to give like a little speech. So sometimes they would come, they would pay a dime, hear him give a speech, or they would just chat with him. They would look at him, whatever.
That's kind of relatable, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But after a while, because he was such a drunk, he couldn't really give speeches to his fans. So he would just kind of like stand there really drunk. And they ended up
shitty drunk.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. If you're drunk, you would think you would be able to like
boisterous,
give better speeches.
Yeah.
Almost. Yeah. But
it's all about knowing your limits, people.
They ended up reducing his pay to a nickel. So they cut it in half.
He went from a dime museum to a nickel museum.
Yeah. Well, I mean, be able to entertain.
Can't buy beer with a nickel.
I don't know what they could buy back then in the 1800s, but
this guy is like, he's like clearly like a tortured soul.
Yes.
Like I kind of feel like a kindred spirit with him, but also I'm like, brother, figure it out. Just get back to start jumping 5 days a week instead of one.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Jumping.
Get to jumping.
Yeah.
And there you go.
So Sam, he still had this desire to be super famous. And what he really wanted was for everyone in the world to know that he was the one who could jump off of like anything, right?
Yeah.
So he decided to plan his biggest jump yet, Niagara Falls.
Oh, no.
Pretty big deal, huh?
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
This feels like the death sentence one.
Well, we'll see. He was actually invited to jump the falls from like a bunch of like these Buffalo dudes because Niagara Falls is on the
like
cusp
high up.
of Buffalo and Canada. I've been there, guys. I
would
know
love to-
geography.
I would love to see the falls.
It's fucking cool as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would probably scare me, but I'd be
For
into
sure.
It. Yeah.
It is scary. So he was invited to jump the falls, and he was basically going to be the main attraction in this like whole day event that they had planned out to bring more people to the falls, like as tourists,
Got it.
because they wanted to make money.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he was a little drunk.
Imagine that. It's not like he has a running theme of this or anything.
Yeah. So he was the day that it was like he was scheduled to jump and have all the festivities that day was October 6th. But he arrived too late to make his jump on time. So he had to jump the following day
Okay.
after the festivities were done.
And everyone's just like showing up like half hungover.
Kinda,
like,
yeah.
The band is playing, but like they're all out of tune. That's what I imagine is the day after the festivities.
Sort of, yeah. So on October 7th.
Half the balloons are popped and like sorry.
There's like one lone balloon.
Yeah, it's like, and they're all like fade, like right, like the helium's leaking out, so they're all like half floating. There's like some popped ones.
So October 7th, 1929, which was the day after the festivities.
Yeah.
It was super rainy. It was super windy and super cold that day. So not that many people ended up showing up to the falls.
Okay.
About an hour before he was scheduled to do the jump, the 15-foot ladder or 15 feet of the ladder that he was going to use to get up to his like desired spot ended up snapping and breaking.
That's a sign, brother.
You
That's
would
a
think.
sign.
You would think.
Yeah.
But Sam was like, no, I am determined to jump. I'm determined to prove to everybody that I am the best at my fucking craft and I am better than everybody in the world.
These damn Sams and their egos, am I right?
So he basically forces the people that are like working to fix the ladder, which they did. And after 4 hours of waiting till they fix it, he ends up going up to the platform.
Okay.
It's all wet and slippery.
Yeah, it's Niagara Falls.
Yeah. And his foot is an 85 feet jump down. So it's
Okay, but
higher.
he's done 90 before.
No, not yet.
Oh.
No, he did 75.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hoboken was 75.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
This is 85 feet. So he's always progressively getting a little higher and higher.
Yeah. This is making me sorry. That just my brain like just finally that clicked how high that was and it made me
It's
very
pretty
sick.
fucking high, yeah.
I almost gagged.
Please don't. So even though not that many people like showed up that day, everyone was watching in amazement
Yeah, of course.
as Sam Patch jumped the 85 feet down into the water and survived. He pulled it off again, folks.
Okay, so he's just jumping into like the basin. He's not like jumping over the falls. That's what I thought you were implying.
This one he was definitely jumping from he was jumping from the small platform.
From a platform.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why, like when
He's
you said
jumping
that.
into the falls though.
Yeah, for some reason when you said it, I mean, obviously, because that's what people would think and that's probably part of their marketing, right? I was picturing him like jumping over the falls.
I
like
wonder
the
how
actual
high that
falls.
is.
I think you couldn't survive because it would like
People have survived
in barrels.
in barrels. Yep.
Is that real or is
Yes.
that a myth?
No, it's real.
Oh, it's real? Okay.
Yes. I swear. We'll talk about it one day.
I believe you.
We'll talk about it one day, guys. I promise. So,
New episode unlocked.
so all the people, like once again, not a lot of people, it's a very small crowd, but he's like, oh my God, I pulled this off. I'm such a fucking king. I have to plan.
I'm unstoppable.
Yeah, look at me. I literally can survive anything.
Fucking king.
So I have to plan for another day to do this where more people can come see me.
Yeah.
Obviously.
He's like, know what he's saying? I gotta go global with this.
I gotta go global.
I can't stay local. I gotta go global.
Exactly.
People gotta see me do this.
Exactly.
Global.
So he creates a poster for his new event, which was going to be on October 17th, which 10 days later.
Yes.
And his poster read, "To the ladies and gentlemen of Western New York and Upper Canada, all I have to say is that I arrived at the falls too late to give you a specimen of my jumping qualities on the 6th. But on Wednesday, I thought I would venture a small leap, which I accordingly made, of 80 feet, merely to convince those that remained to see me with what safety and ease I could descend, and that I was the true Sam Patch, and to show that some things could be done as well as others, which was denied before I made the jump."
Jumpin Sam.
I shall, ladies and gentlemen, on next Saturday, October 17th, precisely at 3:00 p.m., leap at the Falls of Niagara from a height of 120 to 130 feet.
Oh, no.
Being
That's
40
way further.
40 to 50 feet higher than I have leapt before, into the eddy below. On my way down from Buffalo on the morning of that day, in the steamboat Niagara, I shall, for the amusement of the ladies, doff my coat and spring from the masthead into the Niagara River. And he did.
He lived? He jumped that much?
Over 2,000 people showed up to Niagara Falls that day.
Oh my God. I probably would show up for that one. I'm not going to lie. He's a very convincing.
He is Kyle Mooney, after all.
That's very true.
Sam decided to jump from, like I said, an even higher point at almost 130 feet. Sam got up on his platform, kissed an American flag, and jumped. All the onlookers once again thought this man was dead, but as we know Sam by now, guys, in true Sam fashion. He took a moment in the water, held his breath, and he fucking jolts out of the water, and he declares, "There's no mistake in Sam Patch."
That's crazy. That's like so high.
I thought you were gonna say hot.
No, scary. No.
So he ends up turning into this nationwide sensation now.
Makes sense.
And his slogan was basically, "There's no mistake in Sam Patch."
We could work on the logo.
It's not great. It's not great. It's not great. I don't love it.
Every height has met its match in Sam Patch.
Ooh.
Like, come on.
He needed you.
I know. He needed me on his marketing team.
What the fuck?
Right?
Damn. These 1800s.
No matter how high you stack, I can jump it. I'm Sam Patch. Like, come on, man. It's right there. It's in the material.
You guys. He really done fucked up here.
Terrible slogan. Incredible, scary alcoholic guy.
Yes, very much so. So Sam, he's super famous. He's super successful. Literally, he's kind of exactly where he always wanted to be now. However, he's still spending his days drinking most of the days and being plastered. And at this point, it is important for me to tell you that he did end up somehow getting a pet bear.
Oh, okay.
That he like brings everywhere with him, including the bar.
That checks out. Sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
No idea how he got this bear. I think it grows I think it starts out as like a cub and then it like grows.
Okay.
But he's like always with this bear.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. It's the 1800s. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay. Volchek. Wasn't that bear's name?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I had to mention the bear because he does come into play in a minute.
Okay.
Also, it's a bear.
You gotta mention
You
the
gotta
bear.
mention the bear. Okay, so now Sam decides to plan a new jump for November 6th, and this would take place at Genesee Falls in Rochester, New York. So now at this point, he's like, I just need to figure out how to make as much money as I can. So I'm just gonna like jump and promote it and then like have people donate to me.
Yeah. Some tips.
Exactly. So this was not his highest jump, but it was by far his biggest crowd.
Okay.
So allegedly there was around 10,000 people
Jeez Louise.
that showed up.
Okay. That's like half the population back then.
Literally. It's the 1800s. So Sam and his bear.
The bear's going to jump too?
The bear is going up on the platform with him, yes.
I don't love that.
They go up there and they're overlooking this massive crowd of people. Sam looks over the edge down into the water. He then takes his bear and pushes him off the platform.
Okay, I was on your alcoholic team here for a minute, but I'm not on your side anymore.
Yeah,
we're not friends anymore.
No,
that's not cool. That's fucked.
It's pretty
That's super fucked.
Yeah, that was your fucking pet bear, bro.
Did it die?
It did not.
Oh, thank God.
So the bear plunges 125 feet down into the river.
That is so cruel.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But the bear did survive and ended up swimming out of the water.
If I was that bear, I would have come out of that water just attacking anything.
Yeah, literally murdered everyone in sight.
I would have been goring children.
And I wouldn't have blamed him.
No,
to be
I would
honest.
have been on the bear side. I would have been like, listen, I've chosen the bear before. I'll choose the bear again.
Real. So once Sam saw that his bear survived, he was like, okay, now I can jump. Yeah. Kyle Mooney. What do you think about that?
Kyle, no.
So Sam then jumps and is once again successful.
I was hoping he was going to die.
Well, he does become a greedy bastard.
Of course.
And
whoa, the alcoholic who will shove a bear off of a platform became a greedy bastard. I'm shocked.
Had no idea that was going to happen.
It's not the pipeline I usually admire for them.
So he wasn't happy with how much money he ended up raising from that event. And he's like, I need to do one more jump and I need to make it even higher.
Okay.
So this new jump was once again going to be at Genesee Falls. And it was scheduled for November 13th, 1839, which was a Friday. Which is Friday the 13th.
Ooh.
Yeah.
This dude is single-handedly keeping the platform building industry in business.
Literally.
He's like, higher, higher. And they're like, yes, sir, whatever you say. Like everyone's looking at each other like, how many more platforms? This is amazing. We're on the gravy train here.
So this would be promoted as Sam Patch's last jump of the season.
Okay.
He was hoping to draw his biggest crowd to date to make even more money. And his posters for this event read, Sam's last jump. Something can be done as well as other. Some things can be done as well as others. There is no mistake in Sam Patch.
Famous last words.
Famous last words. The day arrives and Sam heads up to the top of the platform and he gives a speech to the crowd.
His favorite thing to do besides jumping.
Are you ready for his speech?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Napoleon was a great man and a great general.
Amazing start.
He conquered armies and he conquered nations, but he couldn't jump the Genesee Falls. Wellington was a great man and a great soldier. He conquered armies and he conquered Napoleon, but he couldn't jump the Genesee Falls.
Did he ever try, Sam? That's what I want to know.
That was left for me to do. And I can do it, and I will.
I like hate this guy, but also love him because like what an insane character that you're giving me right now.
So a lot of people were there that day. Like I said, I think it was probably around the same amount. They didn't really give a number of how many people were there. But a lot of people did report that Sam looked like he was very drunk when he was giving that speech.
Okay. Yeah.
But Sam jumps.
Okay.
Allegedly, as he started falling closer to the water, his body looked like it had gone limp and he was drooping.
Oh, that's not his signature pencil move.
No.
If I've ever heard it.
He did not pencil into the water. Instead, he splashed into the water with his arms and legs fully extended out.
Horrible.
The crowd.
I've belly flopped from like 3 feet before.
It hurts like a bitch,
it hurts so
dude.
bad.
Yeah. So the crowd, waits in anticipation for him to pop up. They know Sam. They know he's a little bit of a jokester. He likes to go under the water for a couple seconds.
He's a real stinker.
He's a big stinker. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But after a few minutes, Sam did not pop back up onto the surface. After a few more minutes of people watching and waiting, the crowd began to uncomfortably disperse.
No one looked for it.
I mean, the people did look for him, but not the crowd. The crowd was like, oh, we gotta go. This is really awkward.
I'm actually like really busy this afternoon.
Ugh, I
gotta go pick up my kid from school, and I have like a rack of lamb in the oven, in the clay pot oven or whatever.
Yeah, a pot roast.
Yeah, I got a pot roast
yeah.
on the cooker.
Yeah, I gotta turn that butter.
I gotta go. I have so much
Literally
butter to churn.
anything.
It's like crazy.
Anything
right now.
I could do other than seeing.
But I'm sure you
maybe
guys got this covered.
a dead body pop up. I don't know.
I'm sure you guys have this
Mhm.
covered. I'm super. You know what? This is actually just me showing you how much faith I have in you.
Right. Yeah.
Frankly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was searched for, but he was not found. That is until March 1830. So months later, this was
That's a
November
long time.
1829.
That's a long time.
Yeah. A farmer had chopped a little hole in ice in the Genesee River
Mm-hmm.
to be able to let his horse take a little drink of water.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when Sam Patch's frozen corpse bobbed up onto the surface. So I imagine it was just like his face in the small little hole that the man had chopped out.
You fucking imagine that
I would die. I would drop dead. Like, no, thank you.
I don't know. Maybe I just wouldn't tell anybody.
You wouldn't tell anybody.
I don't know. I would just be like, like looking around, all pretending like I didn't see it. You get your water there, chap, to the horse, and then just gotta like walk away. Like, I don't want to deal with this. It's terrifying. I feel like this feels like some sort of curse.
It kind of does. Yeah. So Sam Patch, although he did claim that he was pretty much better than all these people and he could jump into the Genesee Falls, in fact, could not.
Napoleon wins again.
Napoleon wins again. Damn it. An autopsy was done on his body, and it was discovered that Sam had actually died before even hitting the water, which is why his body was limp.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So they don't know the exact cause. They say that when he jumped, his blood vessels like popped.
Yeah, I mean, drinking makes like your heart and like everything.
And if you're from such a
weird.
high altitude, I feel like it's got to be.
Yeah, I could see that, like, yeah, fucking with your blood vessels or like making your heart just like give out or whatever. Yeah. So I'm guessing there was no water in his lungs.
Probably.
Right?
Yeah. So he was buried in Charlotte Cemetery. A wooden board over his grave reads, "Sam Patch, such is fame."
They did that to his grave so they could bring kids there and be like, see what
fame does to you?
You
want to be an influencer?
Yeah.
Look what this does to you.
Get back to the fucking cotton spinning or whatever.
That's exactly.
God almighty, what a crazy story.
Yeah, and that is the story of Sam Patch, the first professional American daredevil.
What a man, what a man.
What a man.
Mighty
What a
something
mighty good
man. What a mighty
I wouldn't say good.
What a
I wouldn't say
mighty
good.
Bold man.
He did push his bear over the
you really lost. I was like, I was
Yeah.
really on his side until that.
No, same.
And then he lost me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lost me on that one, I gotta say.
Yeah. But you should watch the Kyle Mooney drunk history.
I think
episode.
I just might have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Sam Patch, what a infamous guy,
Mhm.
I suppose. Well, thank you for that. That
You're
was
welcome.
a crazy one. R.I.P. Sam?
Question mark?
Well, how about we finish this out with a listener story?
Let's do it.
All right. So this is from Maris.
Hello.
And Maris says, "Hi, girls. I've listened to the podcast for about 2 years now with my aunt. Everywhere we go together, you guys are always playing. But now I'm going to get to the story.
Okay.
The house I had before I moved into my new one, I swear it was haunted or something. Something paranormal was definitely going on. Always in the corner of my eye, I would see a figure. It was black and it had long nails and horns. Pitch black. It was absolutely terrifying. I would have just assumed it was me seeing things, but I kept seeing it. I saw it multiple times. And for example, I had a bunk bed, so I used to put a little blanket around my bunk bed and make a little swing for fun. I used to do that. That's so funny. Is that like a universal thing? Because I had a loft bed and I would do the same. I would hang things from it and try to swing, like make hammocks and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So same girl. I was sitting in it one day and I saw a figure in the corner of my eye and then I felt something pulling my hair.
No.
Of course, I was terrified, so I ran out of my room. But another time I was watching TV in my room in my chair and then I saw the figure in the corner of my eye and I felt something scratch my arm. And of course, there was a mark. And Anyway, I've had way more experiences than that with the same thing, but ever since I moved, I've happily haven't seen it at all. Keep posting. You girls are the best. I love you both.
I love how
Thank you, Maris.
I love how Maris was just like, anyway,
super matter of fact about it.
Like, I know these crazy things happen to me, but like, anyway, it's fine.
Even the compliments in the beginning, very straight to the point, very detailed. Love it, Maris. Terrifying. Glad you moved because, oh my gosh. Tell your aunt we say hi.
Yes, hi.
By the way.
Hi, aunt.
Well, if you have a story you would like to send in, you can do that at dtkpod.com. /contact, of course. And then also we've had a lot of people sending it directly to our email recently, which is also available. You can do that at drinkthekoolaidpod@gmail.com. Or if you are a cool kid, you can send us anything on Patreon through the instant messenger. And we do boost those, not directly to the top, but they get priority over other listeners or listener stories.
Yes.
So just one more great reason to join our Patreon.
Exactly. As if we couldn't give you enough.
As if we couldn't give you enough. But thank you guys so much for listening. We totally dig you. And most importantly, make sure you keep that front door locked.
Make sure you keep your mind open.
And keep drinking the Kool-Aid.